red, green, white. So we go P, this. So we have P, which is this. And then takes us to that one down here, which is K. And K is there. Which is green, orange, white. So it would be green up here. We'll do a D. Okay, so that brings green over here. And we have green over here. So then we were looking at blue, red, white. Which is I. Both of these are 4. We still haven't done a 2, 3, 7, 8. So it's a B, a J, or Q. I guess we'll do a J. Which is a 2. So we are now taking the starting piece. It should be orientated correctly. White, green, orange. It's going to be in the J position. Right here. So we're swapping it now for yellow, blue, orange. Which is X. X is in the 8th position. Blue, white, orange. We still haven't done a 3. So we have 1, 2, 2. Yeah, we haven't done any 3s. So that's a C, E, R, and N. Let's do an N. Orange, green, yellow. Which is T. In the 7th position. Okay, let's look at T. Right there. So white, green, red. White, green, red is C. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So yellow, orange is X. That's in the 12th position. That's right there. Yellow, red. Which is a U. U is in the 7th position. Okay. Let me look at U right here. Blue, yellow. Blue, yellow, which is L. Oops. I don't know, looking for brain fart. And L is in the 9th position. So we look at L on this one. Right there. And there we have white, green. White, green is B. B is in the 2nd position. So if you look at B here, right there, we have green or blue, orange. Which is K. And that's in the 8th position. So we look at K here. Right there. And then I have white and blue, which is not necessarily good. White, blue is C. So here we have C. That's in the 3rd position. So that means we have to go and do something else. So what haven't we done? There's 12 groups. Well, what's 1? Sorry, there's no 1 up there. 1 is A or Q. Do I want to do an A? Where's Q? Q looks easier. So let's do a Q. Okay, Q is in the 1st position. Okay, so then we look at this. There's Q. So that's green, orange. Green, orange is N. N is 10th position. So when I do this, I should start with one that I ended with. And since C was already in the correct orientation, it should probably end with A, which is also a 1. So we'll see. So let's look at N. N is right there. So if I'm looking at this, that's red, green. So looking at our colors here, red, green brings us to F. And that is 5th position. Okay. So looking at F, it's right there. We have orange and then white. So we're looking at orange and then white, which is Q. Boy, that sounds familiar. So yeah, we ended in the 1st position. I don't think we've got all the edges written down. Let's see, there's 1, 2, 3. We need 4. There's 5. We need 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 4, 6, and 11, looks like. Okay. So D or E? Let's do D. I'll put that down here. Do one of the ones that we haven't done, right? D, their 4th position. Okay, where does D take us? D's right here. So blue, red. Blue, red is J. Okay. J, 6th position. Okay, we're just needing one more position here. Oops. J is right there. Right here is red, white. So if we look for our things here, red, white, that's E. E is in the 4th position. Oh man, what haven't we done yet though? 11? Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. P and V. Let's do V. V looks easier. So now we're gonna go V, and that's in the 11th position. Right here, V. Shit. Right there. Okay, yeah. which is green, yellow. Go to our green, yellow, which is P. And P is also 11. And so that should solve it. Let's check it out. Boy, I mean, this is a lot of work. So we got our algorithms that I'm still memorizing. It took me forever to figure out algorithms that I was comfortable with and would preserve corners and edges where I needed them. I still don't even have a way of memorizing these letters. I've barely even gotten memorized on the cube, which is why I created this. I have it in my orientation, which is white on top and red in front. And then my lettering system. So A through D, E through H, I through L, M through P, and Q through T, and then U through X. So that's what I'm doing. Okay, so we got our stuff written down. Now with the algorithms that I've got, it doesn't matter if I start with corners first or edges first. If I wrote it down correctly, it should solve. Because like I said, I'm preserving edges when I do corners, and I'm preserving corners when I do my edges. So to show that, I'll do my corners first. Okay, which is the paper that I have here on top. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this underneath the table. And I got my phone attached to my chest like a GoPro that shouldn't exist, you know. So P first. Wait. Let's move this paper a little bit better. Sorry. I'm using the phone as a viewfinder so I can see because it's quite big. Okay. So P is first. Hold on, make sure my orientation is correct. Okay, P. Okay. Now half and full is the wide perm with or without the first step, basically. So on a Y perm, if you start with a F, that would be the full. If you're doing half, you're skipping that step altogether because you're ending and starting with an F move for the full Y perm. So I call it a half. It's easy. Where I skip that F move. So that's what those are. Okay, so P for me is D, R, full. And then R prime, D prime. So we did P, now we're on K, which is just a half. Then we're going straight to D, which is a full. Interesting. Okay. I, R prime, followed by a half, R. J is R2, followed by half, and then R2. Okay, after the J, we have an X. There's an R2 and a full. R2, followed by another J, which is R2, and then R2, and then we have N, which is F2 followed by half, and then F2, T, D2, R, R prime, D2, after the T is a C, which is L, D, L prime, then L, D prime, L prime. Okay, so that should be all the corners. Now I'm going to assume that we're on the right path, and we're going to go straight to our edges. Now, I haven't messed up on this part yet, but I keep in the back of my mind a slight fear of mixing up my lowercase letters with my capital letters, you know? And those aren't typos, I promise. Okay, so for edges, the first one I'm doing is X, which is here, D, L, T, and then T, followed by L2, D prime. Then we have a U, D prime, L2, D, L2, D, L, so D prime, small L prime, J, followed by L and a D. Okay, small L, D. Speaking of which, that was L. After L is B. Sure, this is the T prime. Okay, and then K. K, small d, L, and then a T, L prime, small d prime. Okay, that's K. And then we're going straight to Q. Which is here. It's going to be small l, followed by a J. And then small l, whoops, small l prime is this way. Okay. That's what I'm talking about. It's kind of confusing. That was a Q, correct? Yes. Followed by N. Okay, that's a small d, followed by L prime. And a T. Just making sure I'm not doing this wrong here. E, L, and then small d prime. Okay. Making sure we're on the right path. Q and F, and then Q. So F here is L prime, followed by a T, L, I was after F, another Q. Small L, J, and then a L prime, small L prime. Okay, Q. After that goes to D. D is a J. J. Right here, small d prime, L prime, followed by T, L, D, E, small l, D prime, L2, T prime, L2, D, small l prime. Okay, what's after E? V. Which is an L2, a T, followed by an L2, and then after that is P, which is a D, small l prime, a J, then small l D prime. Okay, and that was P. So if this went well, we should have a solved cube. Look at that. Whew. I almost messed up in the beginning with those corners, but you know, that's where the practice comes in. Practice, practice, practice. I was actually challenged to learn to do this by my niece before she passed away. She passed away on her birthday. Literally, how many people make a full circle like that? She challenged me to learn blindfolded solving. And this is the method I've come up with. After basic research, I did very minimal research because I want to learn organically. So there's probably an easier way to do this. But in the long run, if I can train my memory, I will have not only memorized these algorithms that I painstakingly came up with that fit the needs of the cube, and found out the groups and pairs of all of these. I don't know if those. It definitely helps with learning which pieces I haven't done yet. So like I can count like on this one like 1 through 12 to figure out what ones I haven't done yet. And that's what I did down to figure out which one's down here. So I needed 4, 6, and 11. I was like, well, 4 took me to 6, took me back to 4, and that left me at 11, and I chose the easier one of the two, and it didn't matter because I had to do one or both at some point in time anyways. And same thing with corners. And corners actually have three things per group, well, because they got 3 sides. And so it's difficult to figure out or remember the orientation of the pieces while I'm figuring out. It's like, okay, well, it's going to be white on top in this position. This is going to be replaced with this piece when I do that algorithm, so we should end here. And sure enough, we do, and then we end on the same number that we start with. You know, and that's how I know that we're running into these things. And it usually starts when we hit our key piece. Our key piece is blocked off like this. And so like C and M. C for my edges doesn't have an algorithm. C and I. And you'll see that there's no C or no I, because you can't, it's my key piece. We want it to keep moving around. And same thing with this one here. A, M, and R are all part of the same corner. I'll actually show you that here. So there's the corner piece that I use as my key piece, A, M, and R. So there's no A, there's no M, and there's no R. So there you go. Beginning blindfolded solving. Thank you for watching.